Hello friends, welcome to another course of SlideScope. In this course, we are learning about PostgreSQL. So this is PostgreSQL tutorial for absolute beginners. PostgreSQL, which is also known as Postgres. So Postgres or PostgreSQL is an open source relational database management system or RDBMS. With the help of PostgreSQL, we can create relational databases for organizations. We can create relational databases for our applications or for any type of purpose. If we need a relational database, we can create it with the help of PostgreSQL very easily. Postgres supports both SQL for relational and JSON for non-relational queries. So if you have some basic knowledge of SQL or basic knowledge of JSON, then you can understand PostgreSQL very easily. Again, in this particular course, I will explain you from part 1 to the last part how to work with PostgreSQL. Now, the first thing that we will discuss in this tutorial is how to install PostgreSQL. To install PostgreSQL, you can open these URLs that are mentioned here. So either you can go to this, you can choose the version of your computer, or you can go directly to this particular page. So now I will show you how you can do that. So first you can open postgresql.org. You can open this website. On this website, you will see PostgreSQL, the world's most advanced open source relational database. Now, there are some information about the new releases and various things here. And here you will see a download link. You can click this download link and it will take you to this PostgreSQL core distribution page. And you can see the core of PostgreSQL object relational database management system is available in several source and binary formats. So if you want, you can go for the binary packages, or if you want, you can choose the operating system of your computer. You can go to Windows, because in my case my operating system is Windows. You can go to the operating system as per your computer, and from here you can see we have this various platform support. So from here you can verify which particular platform will be supported in your computer. For example, my computer is 64-bit Windows platform, so this latest version is supported. Now I can click on this download the installer link, which is given just here, and again now I will be redirected to this particular URL, which is enterprisedb.com, and from here you can see you can choose your operating system versions, and I am choosing this Windows x86-64 because this is the architecture of my computer. If you have Windows x86 32-bit, you can choose this. If you have Mac OS, you can choose this, and Linux users can choose any of these downloads as per the configuration of your computer. When you will choose this, so your download will start, and you can see in my case the download has started. So now I will pause this video and wait until the download is finished. Okay, so now download has finished, and then I can run it as administrator to install it. So it's asking, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Press yes. So it's asking to click next here. Now it's asking the installation directory. In installation directory, you can keep whatever is written here. If you want to change it to some other location, you can go and change it. with the help of this folder. Then it is giving me these options: PostgreSQL Server, pgadmin 4, Stack Builder, and command line tools. Again, earlier in my computer, pgadmin was installed. So if pgadmin 4 was installed, so you can uncheck this option. If you want to include pgadmin 4, I removed pgadmin 4. But if you have any of these softwares installed in your computer, so make sure that you do not check that. I will click next, and again you will see it is asking for data directory. So in the same folder in which it is installing Postgre, it is creating a new directory data. So I will choose simply next. Next, it is asking for password. The password that you can put here should be easy to remember and strong also. So I am choosing some password here. Make sure that whatever you are entering here, you also remember that password, because it will be needed later. And it is giving you some port here, and if you want to change this port, it's up to you, but simply leave this port as it is written here if you don't want anything different. Then it is asking you for some locale. You can see various type of locales are given. So if you don't, these are the name of some cities and countries. So if you don't want any particular locale, so you can also leave this to default locale and click next. As a beginner, you don't need to worry too much about that. And now it is giving us some information: what is the installation directory, what is the server installation directory, what is the port, what is database server. Then we have command line tools. So as of now, I will copy all this, and I will save in a notepad. Then I will need it later, so I will save it in some directory. Again, this is not necessary, but it might be needed. And click next, and now your installation process has started. It will take some time, so I'm going to again pause my video here, and when the installation process is finished, then I will resume it. You can see the process is still running, so I'm going to pause this once again, and again when this is finished, I will resume the next part. So now you can see that it is completed. The installation process is completed, and setup has finished installing PostgreSQL on your computer. You can launch Stack Builder at exit. The Stack Builder may be used to download and install additional tools, drivers, and applications to complement your Postgre installation. So for the purpose of add-ons, for the purpose of installing add-ons, you'll need a Stack Builder. Again, I'm not going to check this. I will finish. So now PostgreSQL has been installed, and now it's time to search for PostgreSQL so that we can start it. So now you can click on your start button, and here you can navigate down. You can navigate to P here, and in your P you will see we have PostgreSQL, and from here you can see PG admin. So right click on PG admin, and or just run PG admin, and you can see PG admin is now opening. Now this particular window will open. It is actually a web-based interface which you can see running on this local host. This is IP address of local host, and here you simply have to enter the password which you created at the time of installing it and click OK. And when you will click OK, so you will log into your PG admin. Now we installed we installed PostgreSQL here. We installed PostgreSQL, and then we have a tool called PG admin. Its version is 4 currently. So when you will open PG admin 4, which you can type directly here also. So you can type directly PG admin 4 and run it as administrator. So using PG admin 4, we can do administration of PostgreSQL databases. So we can create database, we can manage databases, we can create tables in databases and do various stuff. So we will see everything because this is a step-by-step tutorial. First we need this. Now here you will see in PG admin you have various options like file, object, you can create, then there is tool, there is help. So we'll use these various options. First we have to use this servers here. So here in browser you can see we have servers, and when you will expand servers you can see 2 servers running. So it is, please enter the password for user Postgres to connect to server, and this is a test server running. So we can click on these servers and you can, so you might not see this, but you will be seeing PostgreSQL 12. Click on this arrow and here also enter the same password that you entered just previous to this installation. And now you can see we are into PostgreSQL 12 server here. A server can be used to create databases. That means our databases will be saved somewhere and this server will serve all the files to us. We have this database, and in this databases you can see we have this Postgres. So now we have these various things. We can right click on this database and we can create new database here. So how can we create a new database in PostgreSQL? How can we create a table, and various things like that will be discussed in upcoming chapters. Here you can click on statistics also. So you can see by clicking on statistics, or you can go to dashboard and you will see server sessions, transactions, commits and various things like this. So this is how we download and install PostgreSQL in our computer. This is how we run PostgreSQL server, and using PG admin we are accessing the PostgreSQL server. So remember, PostgreSQL server must be up and running, and for that you can open PG admin, and then when you will click this down arrow it will open. So in the next chapter we will see how we can create a database without writing queries. Then we will also see how we can create PostgreSQL databases by writing some queries and various things related to database. What is a database? What is a table inside a database? If you are unknown to that, you will learn that also. In some part of our tutorial, you will also see how we can connect to web servers. So currently this server is running in our computer. How we can connect to web servers using PG admin, that thing will be also discussed with you. So thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. Hello friends, welcome to another video of SlideScope. We are continuing our discussion of PostgreSQL. And in this part you will learn how to create a database in PostgreSQL. So a database is used to create information or is used to save or store information of any particular organization or any company or any application. It can store information of a website, its users. So it can store any data, and the data that it stores is stored in form of data tables. So in a database there can be one or many data tables. These data tables have rows and columns. So columns are simply the attributes of data. For example, here you can see a table. In this table you can see this table is used to store information of users, and it has four attributes or four column names: ID, name, age and phone. This ID is used for creating the identity. This ID stores the identity related information of users, and it is unique for all users. So every user has a unique ID. Next is name. So every user's name is entered here. Every user's name is displayed here in this column. Then this is age of every person and phone of every person. So suppose you want to see the age of Mohan. So you can just look for the column written next to Mohan, and you can, from the name column you can choose Mohan, and from the age column you can choose the age, and that will be the age of Mohan. So by writing data in form of this structure, by writing data in form of this table, helps users in better understanding and better readability of data. It helps developers in better readability of data, and then we can create some applications, and those applications can fetch this data and display it to front end users. Again, we are just discussing about the database administration part. So now we will see how you can create database in PostgreSQL without too much of coding. So in this part, we will try to create a database without coding. We will try to create a data table without coding in PostgreSQL. So here we have PG admin running. So if PG admin is not running in your case, so you can type PG admin here and you can run PG admin. In my case, the version is pgadmin 4. Now when you will run pgadmin, it will open in any particular browser. In my case, it is open on Mozilla Firefox. And here you can see the IP address on which it is running and the port on which it is running. Now here you have to enter the password which you entered or saved at the time of installing pgadmin, installing PostgreSQL in your computer. You can click OK, and now you can see you have servers. When you will click on servers, so you will have list of servers. In my list of servers, I have this PostgreSQL server, and in the PostgreSQL server you can see some databases. So here I have my databases, and here by default we have one database called Postgres. Now I will right click on this databases here. So you have to right click on databases. Make sure you have your PostgreSQL in this sequence, and then right click on databases, create databases. This is simply you are saying that you want to create a new database. So it will open a database and it is asking you some questions here, and the first question is, what is the name of database? Now let's say we want to create database for a hotel. So we want to create database for hotel, and first in hotel we want to create a table that will be called tbl underscore hotel. So first we will create db hotel. So we will create db underscore hotel, and in db hotel we have to create table of hotel first. This table will store information of hotel, because this information will be used on bills, will be used on invoices and various other like menu or on the front end. This information will be used. Then we will create another table called tbl underscore rooms. This will store information of rooms of hotel. How many rooms are there, what are the name of rooms, what are the prices of rooms, what is the room category, and things like that can be stored in this particular table. Let me change the font here so that you can view it more clearly. So we have two tables. Then we can have third table as tbl underscore customers, which will store info of customers. So now you can see that we have various type of informations. First is information of the hotel itself, information of the organization itself. Then we have information about the rooms, so some entity of that particular organization. Then we have information of customers, clients of that particular organization. We can have information like tbl underscore staff. It can be table of employees. So suppose you are creating it for some organization, so it will store details of organization itself. This will some entity of that particular organization. Then it can be clients of that organization, this can be employees of that organization. So we'll see some databases. As an example, I have taken this hotel database. So now the name of hotel that I will enter is db underscore hotel. Then we can see we have these owners, pg read all stat, pg read server files, and things like that. So these are access levels. So we will select the Postgres, which is the default owner. If you want to add some comments in this, you can add here. This will be some extra information that will be associated with this table. Then we have definition here. In the definition, you can see we have UTF-8. Then so we will keep the encoding as UTF-8. If you want another type of encoding, you can use such encodings. What is this encoding? We will see this in later parts, but as a beginner, you don't have to worry too much about that. Then we can see there are some templates also. So you saw that we have a Postgres database. So if you want to use that template or that table space or the collation or the character type, again in character type it is using English India, we can choose. So we don't want to do anything here, we don't want to do anything in the security part or in the SQL part. But if you will go to the SQL part, it will give you the necessary SQL code that is needed to create this particular database, and we can save this SQL code in our in any particular case. So we can save the SQL code here, and so I will save it as Postgres underscore create underscore database. And now I'm going to explain you this code. You can also save this code as .sql so that you will see some colors. So create database name. So you have to write create database name. If you will use this much SQL command, your database will be created. But with the help of with keyword, you can set owner as Postgres, you can set encoding as UTF-8, and you can set connection limit as -1. Again, there are certain things which I am not covering in this chapter, because we just want to create database. In upcoming chapters, you will see, you will understand information of owner, encoding, connection, everything. You will get this get this information in detail. For now, we will keep everything as default, and we will simply click on save. When you will click on save, that particular command will be executed. Create database DB hotel. Remember, in SQL, this much command, the part that is selected, only this much command is sufficient to create a database. But here, because we are creating it with owner and with other definitions, so it will be created. Now you can see the number of databases have now been 2, and you can see some statistics here. How many server sessions are there, total transactions, commits, rollbacks, tuples, and various things are there. Now you will see we have this Postgres and DB hotel. Again, if you have to navigate to any particular thing in PostgreSQL, any particular database server or whatever you want to navigate, you just have to click this arrow here, and when you will click this arrow, you will now be inside your database, and this is our DB underscore hotel. Now this, as an example, you can take any particular example, you can create database for any particular thing. We are creating database for a hotel. So now our database is created. Remember, while naming our different type of entities like hotel, table, so DB, so while naming our database, while naming our table, everything, what we are doing here, we are simply using some prefix, or we can also use some suffix in the name. Again, this is not necessary, but with the help of this prefix db underscore, so in the name of identifiers, you cannot use some special characters. You can only use underscores, and you can use capital or small letters. I prefer writing small letters, and if there are 2 or 3 words in the name of identifier, so I separate those words with the help of an underscore. This way I know that DB underscore hotel is the name of the database, and TBL underscore hotel is the name of that table which is going to store information. Remember, in this case, we are covering this example for single hotel database. This is our database, and this database will hold information of one particular hotel. In upcoming chapters, I will show you how to create a multiple hotel database, or a multiple school database, or a multiple hospital database. Multiple school, I have developed these applications, so I will show you the databases, multiple school, multiple hospital, and things like that. In this case, I am just keeping things simple. So now we have created a database, an empty database is created. It is for single hotel, so this TBL hotel will simply store information of one particular hotel. Now we have to create this TBL hotel. Before creating your tables, you first have to decide what columns will be there inside your table and what will be the data type of those columns. For example, in TBL underscore hotel, first thing will be the ID of hotel. That ID is necessary because this ID helps us in identifying information. Again, this is single hotel, so ID is not necessary in this case, but again, it is a good practice to add ID to your tables. If you will add ID and if you will set it as primary key, then primary key is the main key. With the help of primary key, we set identity of our tables. So for example, if you own any government ID, or any particular ID card that is issued to you by your country's government, so that ID card has a ID number, and that ID number is unique only to you. So that is your unique information, that is your unique identity. So no two-person can have the same ID. For example, there is PAN card, there is tax information number, so there are various details like that, and the information cannot be same for 2 people. In the same way, when we create tables, When we create tables, we have ID here, so that when we will add more information in our tables, when more users or more information will be added, every new information or every new user will have a different row, and there will be a unique ID associated with every row. For every record, we will have a unique ID, and with the help of it, creating, reading, updating the records will become easy. So that is very important here, and you should always create an ID. You should set it as primary key. We will see those examples. So first thing in this table will be ID, then there will be name of hotel. So you can also set it as hotel name, something like that, hotel underscore name, or you can set simply name, because it is inside TBL hotel, so it will be, the name will help us in understanding that it is because it's inside TBL hotel, so it's hotel name. So we have ID, name. Now the next column we can create is pin code or zip code of the hotel, and we can say, let's say phone number. So you can store any number of columns, but just for demonstration purpose, I will show how to create these 4 columns in PostgreSQL. Now ID will be integer value, name will be a string value. To store string values, we have varchar and char data types. Mostly we use these data types. Pin code or zip code, sometimes in some countries there can be alphanumeric pin codes, in some countries it can be integer pin codes, so it's as per the location. And in phone, sometimes we save phone like this, so because there are special characters and symbols, so in such cases we can say that phone will be a character value. So we will try to create a table with these 4 columns and with these data types. Data type is simply what type of data will be stored here. String values are alphanumeric. Alphanumeric, that means there can be alphabets, there can be numeric values. If you are not sure how many characters will be there in your alphanumeric value, so you can choose varchar. Varchar means variable number of characters. If you are sure that there will be only a particular limited number of characters or fixed number of characters, in that case you will choose char. For example, PAN number in India, in or some government ID. In some government IDs we have 10 characters, and those 10 characters are fixed for every citizen of that particular country. There will be a government ID of those 10 characters, and it will be alphanumeric value. In alphanumeric values, we can also store special characters like at the rate, underscore, and things like that. So we'll see these data types again with upcoming chapters. You will see more about data types. Now, because we have created this db underscore hotel, we have created this particular database. Now it's time to create a table. So to create a table, we have to go to this schemas part, and in the schemas part you will see a public schema is created, and in this public schema you will see various things here like foreign tables, FTS samples. So again, there are various things that need to be discussed. So in their respective chapters, most of these options will be discussed. For example, views are virtual tables. We will see how to create virtual tables. We'll see how to create triggers and things like that. Now you can see tables here, right? So what we have done, first we created a database. Then when the database was created, with the help of this simple toggle icon, we opened the database part, and in the database part we open this schemas part, and then in the schemas part we can see tables. Now when you will expand table, there is nothing here, so nothing will be expanded. So you just have to right click on tables and create a table. Now when you will create a table, a simple table designer will come. Now the name of this table is TBL underscore hotel, which was discussed previously. Now it is not a partition table. We will just first create a table with minimum number of configurations and changes. So you have to go to the columns part. So if you want to inherit from any particular table, you can inherit it. You can see names, data type, length, and which are not here. So in your columns section, you will see a small plus icon here. This is add new row. So now when you will add this, it will show you this table designer here. Here we have to enter the name of column. So based on our discussion, the first name is ID, then name, then pin code, and then phone. So name of our first column is ID. The data type is integer. So with integer, you can see we have big int, and big int array, and various things like that. For now we will choose integer, and what I will do, I will create a separate chapter for these data types. What are the length of values that you can store in these data types, so that you will understand the meaning and purpose of these data types in PG admin or Postgre. The length or precision, it is not showing it for us. Scale, it is not showing. Is this a primary key? Yes. Again, I told you the meaning of primary key. Primary key is the driving key for a particular table. So in the table, this key is your main key which stores information of identity of the rows, identity of the records that will come in this table. Again, click plus. You have to give another name. So this will be the hotel name. Hotel name can be char or varchar. So you can see here we don't have varchar, but we have character varying. So this is same as varchar. This is the same way of saying varchar, and we can enter the length. So this is the maximum length. Suppose there is a name. Suppose there are two hotels. One is ABC Hotel, and second one is ABC I something like this. Let's say this hotel. So in this hotel, you can see there are 538 plus 1 is space 9 characters, and in this hotel name there are more number of characters. So this particular length or precision is the length which is the maximum length this column is going to have. So let's say the maximum length of a hotel name can be of 100 characters. A character is, even the spaces are counted. So suppose there is a name John. So in the name John there are 4 characters, and if the name is, let's say, John Cena, so in John Cena in John there are 4 characters, in Cena there are 4 characters, and there is one space. So there are 448 and 9 characters. So you can, as per the maximum character value that is coming, that will come in, or that can come in this particular column, you decide the length. It cannot be the primary key. Can it be null? So it cannot be not null. So this will, so your ID, which is primary key, cannot be null, because every column must have some identity key. Name, we cannot leave name as empty, so it is not going to null. Not going to be null. Null means not a value. Suppose a value is not provided for any particular column, so that means null. We have ID, we have name. Let's say we have pin code. Again, pin code will be integer type value. We will choose integer here. So next we have is null. Let's say if you are not providing pin code, you will still enter your hotel. and then we decided another column here. So we decided phone. And now the fourth column that we have to enter here is phone. And in phone, we can choose character, yeah, from here, and this character will have a length of, let's say, 15. So the phone column can, why we are choosing phone as character here, because values in phone column can be entered something like this. Suppose many clients demand phone numbers entered like this, so this cannot fall under any numeric value, so it has to be a character value. Why we are putting character value? In case of character value, we have a fixed number of values. So let's say all the phone numbers that will come in this column will be of 15 or will be of 13 characters. So that's what we are putting here. In case of name, there is too much variance in name. Some names can be of 4 or 5 characters, some names can be of more than 4 or 5 characters, so it's up to you. So I'm just telling you meaning of character and character varying and where to use them. And now when you will click save, so this will be saved. Now we have our columns ID, name, pin code and phone. And in our column ID, we'll go to its property, and when you will go to its definition, so you will see that it's an integer. And now we have to put one constraint on our this particular ID. The constraint is you can see that it is not null. This is one constraint. We are making this an identity. What we simply mean here is, suppose 5 records are inserted in this particular table. So, and because this particular column ID is our identity, this is the ID of every record. So the ID of every record should be different. So that's why we are making it an identity, so that it becomes ID of every record. It is primary key, and we will set an increment of 1 and minimum value of 1. When a minimum value of 1 and increment of 1 will be put here, so let's say these are our values A, B, C, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's say these values are entered. So in this case, you will see that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 will be generated automatically. So to generate them automatically, what we have to do, we have to say that it is an identity and the increment is 1 and the minimum value is 1. And in the maximum value, let's say there will be maximum of 10 hotels in this, so you can put a maximum of 10 here. If you see that maximum of 100 hotels will be there in this particular table, so you can write 100. So currently we are creating it for one hotel only, so we will create 1 and 10 here, save. And now this will be set as identity. And now in the next part, we'll see how we can insert some data in this particular table. Again, because the table that we are creating here, this TBL underscore hotel, in this table we are going to store information of only one hotel. So maximum row will be 1 in this case. Again, in upcoming examples, or I will create a database, I will create a new database in another section, and in that section I will tell you how we can create multiple school management systems database. So in that database you will actually see the use of this minimum and maximum here. So whatever things are being discussed here, you just have to keep in mind. You just have to learn this. When more advanced or more complex examples will come, then the use and purpose of everything will be made more clear to you. Again, in this particular table, this identity column does not make any real sense, but again, because it's a thing that you should remember, so we are discussing it here. And here you can see in identity we can set it as always, and we can also set it as by default. Now there are two different meanings of this, and the meanings are very important. If you will select always, it will instruct PostgreSQL to always generate a value for the identity column. So whenever you will insert a record, it will always generate a value for the identity column automatically. So it will generate it automatically, you have to remember, in case of always. And if you will try to insert some value in this column, so you will get error. For example, you can see here that we have ID here, right? So in this column you cannot insert values. This will be handled by PostgreSQL, and it will generate the value as per the definitions that are given here. That means increment, minimum, maximum, and cache here. If you will set it to by default, so in that case the generated by default also instructs PostgreSQL to generate a value for the identity column. However, if you provide a value for insert or update, then Postgre will use that value to insert into this particular column instead of system generated value. So in case of by default, you can insert your own values also instead of system generated values, and in case of always, the value will always be system generated. In most of the examples we use always because we want the system to generate this particular column's value. It will be auto increment, so it will be incremented by 1. Minimum value is 1, maximum value is 10, and cache is 1. Again, in upcoming examples you will see what is the meaning of this thing. When we will create a TBL, after TBL hotel, we will create a table called rooms. In that particular table you will see the real meaning of this. So thanks for watching this. In the next part we will try to create another table, but that table we will try to create with the help of SQL query in PostgreSQL.